Today, we're going to take a look at something pretty awesome. Jim Bourke, the owner of RCGroups, Flying Giants, and HeliFreak.com, recently took ownership of his new 330 SC. Jim B competes in aerobatics and flies usually, if the weather permits, on a daily basis. And this is his new competition plane. This is a 330 SC. He had a two-seat version of this prior. And he wanted something a little more nimble, a little more quick. So we found out he was flying through Tennessee and got him to land in Tune Airport, which is near where Jason and I both live. And I was like, man, we have to take some pictures and do an interview and find out about this airplane. So I've tried to ask any question you might want to know or have an answer on. So let's jump in there and learn about this bird. Hey everyone, RCGroups.com. We're at the Tune Airport in Nashville, Tennessee. High security here, don't mess around at Tune. We're with Mr. Jim Bourke. Jim just landed. Jim, where are you headed?
I'm on my way to Memphis for an air show. And this is not really on my way, but I wanted to come by and say hi.
So this, you just took delivery of your brand new airplane. Tell us what it is and why you love it and anything you did special to it.
There's so much to love about it. It's a great airplane. It's very similar to what I was flying before, but it's single seat, so it has a lot less weight, and it's also a little tiny bit smaller. It just is more nimble, is basically the best thing about it. It's also a little faster, has in cross country, has more range, which is nice, a little more fuel.
And your other one was an LX, that's the two-seater, right? And this is the SC?
Correct, it's the SC.
And so I didn't think there would be that big of a difference, but you're saying there's really a big difference.
It's a huge difference. It's as big of a jump as it was going from like going from a Pitts to my LX would be, that sort of jump. This is the same amount of jump.
Wow.
It's a big jump.
So you're going to be competing soon. Tell us about where you're headed and what you're training for.
Right, well, I don't have any competitions on my schedule right now because I cleared most of them out so I can practice for the big competition this summer, which is the World Aerobatic Championships. I'm on the US Aerobatic team, and I'll go there with 7 of my friends who are also on the team, and we'll be competing against the other teams, other world teams.
So this will be the bird that you compete in. You're going to leave it in Memphis, come back down to Tennessee and do some more, and then tell us how, this is in South Africa, is that where it is?
Right, the Worlds is in South Africa this year, which is a ways, and I'm not actually sure this airplane will make it there. It's some of us are talking about sharing airplanes. I'd like this one to go there, but you know, if I have to share an airplane, that'll be fine too, save a little bit of cash. But yeah, but it's going to be in South Africa, and I don't remember the exact name. I think Melalan is the name of the place, and I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing that right. I'll be flying myself into Johannesburg. The aircraft will arrive on a boat. Okay. And you know, and the biggest thing about taking my airplane, besides the expense, is that it'll be away from me for like 5 months. So that's probably why I won't end up taking this airplane. I have air shows and other things to do.
Since we're talking to RCGroups and Flying Giants folks out there, I'm sure they're going to want to know about the motor. And do you have any specs or feature sets you can share with us on this particular airplane, why you picked it?
Well, it's very similar in the engine department to my LX. It has a Lycoming 580, which has about 315 horsepower. It has an MT propeller. It's plenty of power. I actually don't need that much power to fly through the competition sequences. For air shows, you could always use a little more. But having said that, I have so much vertical that people won't be able to see me. So it's really not necessary to have a lot more power. And other specs, it's about 1,300 pounds empty weight. By the time you put me in there and some fuel, of course it's more than that, but that's what it is dry, which is very light for 315 horsepower. It's not near the class of a model in terms of power to weight, but for a real airplane or a man-carrying airplane, it's very light for its power. And I'm not sure what else to say except it just does everything you want to do. There really isn't a trick that I probably can't do with it. I haven't had much time. I only have 10 hours of the airplane right now, and about 4 of that was the cross country here. So I don't really know the airplane very well, but from what I've seen so far, and having flown my LX sequence now in this airplane, it has a lot more performance potential than what I had before.
And finally, we'll stop here. Your routine, how often are you in the air practicing and getting ready for the competition?
Well, this year I haven't had much chance to practice, unfortunately. The weather was terrible in Oregon. I've been waiting on this airplane, so it's been really tough. And I have until September now to train, so that training is going to begin. Last year and for the rest of the summer now, I would fly every day, 3 times a day if possible. 2 is probably all my body can take after a few days of training, but I'll do as much as my body will let me do because it just takes a lot of time. It's almost a full-time job to fly at the level I'm flying. Probably is a full-time job.
Right. All right, everybody, we're talking to Jim Bourke and the brand new 330 SC RCGroups Flying Giants Knife Edge bird. So awesome. Finally, Jim, designed the scheme all on his own? I know because he would send pictures and say, "What do you think about this? What do you think about that?"
Actually, that's not true. Mirko Pecorari, who's an Italian designer.
Oh, no way.
He did most of it. I helped him with it, of course, but this is really Mirko's design. Yeah,
So Mirko designed the Commander for Horizon, and we actually have a feature on that. So that's very cool that he's connected to this airplane too.
Yeah, he does a great job.
All right. RCGroups.com, FlyingGiants.com, in Tune, Tennessee. No, Tune Airport, Nashville, Tennessee.